All right, welcome on back, everyone, to another episode of First CSP, the channel dedicated to bringing you the first council sorter patch issued from each council in Scouting America, both past and present. Today, we're going to take a look at Texas Trails 561 out of Texas. This council was originally formed in 2003 as the merger of Chisholm Trail and Comanche Trail. There are a couple of varieties of the first issue, as well as a later issue that can sometimes be confused with the first issue. So we've got a lot of examples to show you here today. Let's head on over to the patch table for the S1A variation, and that is defined with its a yellow rope cut edge border. We've got the magenta, blue, orange, yellow sky. Amazing little sunset scene there. Dark blue name. We've got vertically stitched grass, which is going to be a feature on the S1A and B. And then most importantly for the S1A, the legs of the horse are touching the rope. They come all the way down here to the bottom. Also a feature of all of the S1s are going to be these ghosted cattle heads. So you see the longhorn cattle here on the left and the shorter horn cattle here on the right. Those are what set apart the S1s versus those later issues that sometimes look very similar to this. We take a look at the back. Pretty standard modern plastic back. Again, that they went with a cut edge patch is a little bit more unique for modern CSPs. It gives this a really nice aesthetic, and obviously kind of the scenery there, horse on the trail with the amazing sunset and the ghosted cattle heads really make this kind of a unique, colorful, and really cool patch. I really do like these. There were 3 variations of the S1. So this is the S1A. We have next up the S1B. The S1B has all the same features as the S1A, including the vertically stitched grass. The distinction then becomes where the horse stops, and you can see the horse legs end in the trail, and that is going to make it an S1B. The back on the S1B also looks very similar. Standard plastic edge, modern patch. So the S1A and B both have the vertically stitched grass, and then for the A, the horse legs will end on the rope, and for the S1B, the horse legs end in the trail. There does exist an S1C as well. It's going to have the horse legs end in the trail like the S1B, but the grass is actually horizontally stitched. We do not happen to have an S1C in our collection, so I can't show that to you, but if you have horizontally stitched grass and ghosted cattle heads, you would be dealing with an S1C. Now, a little bit later, Texas Trails produced the S7 CSPs. Here's an example of the S7. It's super slick on the back, so it's hard to get it to stick to my patch. My patch table is actually a bit at an angle, so it shoots best to the camera. But it does mean sometimes they want to fall off. So the main distinction between the S1s and the S7s is going to be no ghosted cattle heads. So if you do not see ghosted cattle heads on the patch, you're already dealing with an S7. The S7 itself had 3 varieties also, A, B, and C. The A and C have type 2 fleur-de-lis, which we don't happen to have here to show you. The B has the type 1 fleur-de-lis, so this is an S7B. The other distinctions between the S7A and C are going to be the grass. So on an S7A, you have horizontally stitched grass, and then B and C, you will have, and this says vertically stitched grass. So a type 1 fleur-de-lis and vertically stitched grass is an S7B, which this is, and if you had a type 2 fleur-de-lis down here with vertical, it would be an S7C. The backs of these make it pretty easy to differentiate from the S1s because these now have the scout back plastic backs, whereas you could see they were just clear plastic backs on the S1s. So if you do get a picture of the back, that is also helpful in differentiating between these two, but it's pretty easy to see usually that you don't have the ghosted cattle heads. See if I can put the original S1A up. Try and hold this one so it doesn't slide off my patch table at the bottom. So again, these ghosted cattle heads will set off the S1s. No ghosted cattle heads are going to show you that you're dealing with an S7. And then just the finer details. Where are your horse legs? What is the stitching of your grass? That shows you which variation you have, A, B, or C within those. So that is the first issue for Texas Trails 561. Hopefully this would help you with identification if you're trying to discern whether or not you have an S1, A, B, and C. Maybe you have an S7 in your collection. We always like to try and provide as much detail as possible for identification purposes should someone want to collect or just wants to know more about the issues that were released. We always try and bring you the first issues and then anything that's adjacent or might be confused with those first issues, and we do hope that people appreciate that information. We're back every single day with brand new episodes. We'll be back again tomorrow with another new First CSP episode. We do hope to see you then. We also want to thank you all for stopping in, liking, sharing the content, etc. We really appreciate the community that has supported our channel, and we appreciate being able to bring you this content. With that, we'll catch you all here again tomorrow, and until then, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.